Hi, welcome. Please have a seat. All right. So, start with it's been a little bit since we last spoke, so um, how have you been? Mm-hmm. Any major life events happened since the last time we talked? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And how are we feeling about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reasonable. Okay. What am I writing? Just notes so that I can so that I don't forget, what we're talking about, and just makes it a little easier on the old memory. Mm-hmm. So, um, let's see. So, have you been drinking enough water? Been eating enough? Think so. Okay. Maybe drink a little bit more water. Um, Believe it or not, staying hydrated does help. It's very important. Your whole body runs on, water, so it's pretty helpful. Yeah, yeah. Just make sure you're drinking enough. Um, Now, how have you been? Just since we last spoke, how have you been feeling? What's your emotional state been like? Been fluctuations in it? Uh, has it been pretty stable? Have you been experiencing any panic attacks, anything like that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Feeling anxious? All right. Um, is it just in general? There's specific things you want to talk about? What 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 have you been feeling anxious about? A lot of different things. Okay. Well, why don't we pick one? Um, one thing you're feeling anxious about to start with, and then you can tell me about that. Okay. And we can talk through it. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So, why are we feeling anxious about it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, nervousness. If you've got major things happening, that makes sense. Um, but anxiety, that goes beyond it goes beyond your brain's reasonable response. Um, because so in being nervous, fear in general is actually a good thing. It's something that keeps you aware of consequences so that you can make wise decisions, and safe decisions. It helps protect you and keep you safe. um, the problem with anxiety is it goes beyond what is a reasonable response, and the result is panic. And as a general rule, you do not want to panic. There's a couple situations where, having your fight or flight response go into overdrive so you can run really fast and far away from danger, or you can fight that danger as necessary. There are certain circumstances where that's okay. Um, but those are pretty few and far between, and for the most part, not super applicable in our modern age. Um, you're less likely to need it nowadays, and definitely not for anxiety purposes, because that's your brain trying to get you to run or fight an issue. But unfortunately, with anxiety, those issues are most of the time scenarios that haven't happened and probably won't. And so you're trying to run away or fight something that doesn't exist and may never exist. And part of the problem is that leaves your brain in kind of a continuous state of panic, which is what makes an anxiety attack different from a panic attack. So, panic attacks, especially related to PTSD, stuff like that, those generally last about 15 minutes, on like the upper end. Just long enough for your brain to realize that you're not in any immediate danger and to calm down. Um, Anxiety attacks, though, because your brain doesn't realize that you're not in any immediate danger because it's a scenario that's not getting resolved. Um, it's not unusual for panic attacks to last, up to 6 hours. And in some cases, they can last longer than that. There are cases where they've lasted like a month or more. So, and I don't know if you know this, but mental health issues like anxiety, they are also physical health issues for a couple of reasons. One, because your brain is an internal organ, right? So any illness of that internal organ is a physical illness. When somebody says, oh, don't worry, it's all in your head, it's like, well, yeah. And if you have asthma, it's all in your lungs. That is where it's at, but that doesn't make it less valid, okay? Um, so it's very important to try to stay grounded and work through it, because it's not healthy. The other thing about it is, your brain is the internal organ that controls the rest of your body. And so a lot of times that causes health problems for your whole body if you're having issues with your brain's health. So this can lead to stress, especially does a lot of different things on your body. It's very hard on it. And this can have issues with sleep. This can cause strain on your heart. You can get, of course, headaches and other things. It can make your stomach upset, nausea. Those are all common symptoms of high stress. And prolonged panic attacks are really unhealthy because you're flooding your brain with all kinds of chemicals. You've got a constant state of adrenaline. You've got all these endorphins and whatnot running through your head, or running through your brain, your neural pathways, and it kind of fries it after a little while. So we don't want that, right? So I'm not telling you all this to scare you. I just want you to be aware of the health risks and why it's important to take anxiety problems seriously. So the important thing to remember is, anxiety is usually caused by what if scenarios. What if this bad thing happens? What if it goes wrong? What if I don't get the job? What if? Well, if you don't, let's say you're anxious about applying for a job and you don't get it. What if you don't? Then you apply for another job. You're not in any worse spot than you were before, right? Yes, not having your situation improve can be very frustrating. Trust me, I know. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's getting worse, right? And one of the best ways to counteract those anxious thoughts is to kind of do the opposite. You know, if your brain says, well, you're about to drive a car and you're feeling anxious, what if I get in an accident? Well, what if you arrive safely? You know, you're meeting somebody, what if I say something stupid in front of them? What if you say something brilliant? You know, all of these likelihoods, or all these outcomes are just as likely. There's no reason that the bad thing has to be more likely than the good thing, okay? And so it's important to remind ourselves that, you know, we don't have control over everything, and that that's okay. It's okay to not be in control. It's okay if things don't go the way you plan, because life will continue, and you can, as long as your life continues, and as long as you have the ability to affect change in your life, then you don't need to worry, because you have some control. You have control over your decisions. You have control over what you do. And here's the thing, if you don't have control over it, why worry about it? It's not your problem. Not really. If you literally can't do anything about it, there's no need to worry about it. And if the worst case possible scenario happens and, you know, you get hit by an asteroid or something, well, I guess it'd be a meteor if it's in atmosphere. If you're in space and you get hit by an asteroid, that's, I mean, first of all, that's impressive, because that means you're an astronaut. But, you know, suddenly those problems aren't yours anymore either. So there's still nothing to worry about. Okay? Again, nervousness and fear, to an extent, they are healthy and they're good things, because they keep you aware of consequences. You know, you should be afraid to just walk out onto a highway, right? That's a good thing to be afraid of, because you'll probably get hit by a car, and that's not good. You don't want that. But if you're just walking on the side of the road and you're having a panic attack because you're worried you're going to get hit by a car, or you're just, you know, walking somewhere where it's not high traffic, that's when, you know, we want to look at kind of cost benefit. You know, what is the benefit you're getting? You're not really getting any benefit. You're just kind of existing. And what's the cost? The cost is that you are now stressed, and you're causing undue stress on both your brain and your body, which, I mean, your body's part of your brain, but we're going to categorize them separately for this. And none of that is healthy, especially in the long run, right? So, some things you can do. There's some grounding exercises I'd like to kind of give you to help you when you're dealing with anxiety problems or panic attacks. You know, take a second to, like, calm yourself. And the way you do that, my first recommendation is I always start with breathing. Breathing is so important, and it's amazing the difference that just breathing can make. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, okay? I'm going to walk you through this breathing exercise. You can use it later whenever you want. But just do it with me so you know kind of how it feels. You feeling a little anxious right now? It's fine. It's fine. Let's work on that, okay? So, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again. Very good. You're doing great. So, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but oh yeah, when you're doing this exercise, breathe in as much as you can. Just fill those lungs, and then kind of breathe out until it feels like you're going to have to start actually working to breathe out, if that makes sense. So just Okay, you don't need to do anything extra to like force air out of your lungs, right? We're not trying to get everything out. We just want to make sure that you've kind of recycled, gotten some fresh oxygen in, and it helps to ground you. Speaking of grounding, that's the next thing I want to talk about is just grounding techniques. So what we want to do is you pick 5 things. It doesn't matter what things. I mean, for all I care, 5 things you can see. But usually you want to keep them in kind of a category. So see if you can find 5 things that are white or blue or yellow. Pick a color. Or find 5 things that you think would feel rough. Okay? Or just 5 different surfaces or textures that you can touch. So basically, you want to get sensory input to kind of bring you back to reality so that you're aware of your surroundings and you're not, getting locked in that cycle in your own head. So why don't we do that now? So we're going to find, just 5 things that are. Let's go with black. There's a lot of stuff that's black. People like black. So, I've got some here. We've got a little fidget toy. It's black. We've got another fidget toy that's black. I have this little bag here. That's black. So that's 3 things. Okay. We've got. Let's see. What else do we have? Got my glasses case. Pretty sure that's black. I'm colorblind. That could just be a really dark brown. Let's see. What else do we have? I've got a hair tie. Okay, so 5 black things. And again, it doesn't have to be black. There's nothing specific, okay, that you need to pick. Just, you can pick literally anything you want. Basically, easiest way I find to do this is find one thing, okay? Then try to find 4 other things that have something in common with that first thing you found. And if you can't do it, it's okay, alright? It's not a test, right? You can't actually fail this. There's no penalty. Nothing's gonna happen. If it doesn't work, just try finding something else, alright? You can also try listening. Try to identify 5 different sounds. You can try just look. Like I said, you can try touching things. Try to find 5 different touches. Smells. That's what I was gonna go with. Just try using your sense of smell, seeing if you can spot 5 different smells or detect 5 different ones. And if not, again, nothing to worry about. You've even got 5 senses. You could try finding one of each, one thing for each sense. Though I wouldn't necessarily recommend just licking something. We wanna keep things sanitary. But if you got food or something, you think that'll help, that's fine. Yeah, next thing I want to do and go over for just trying to relax and not have anxiety is get some water. Please take a big, just take a drink, okay? So you breathe first, take a drink of water, right? These are things your body needs. You need to breathe, you need water, okay? So we're attending to some of the body's basic needs, right? So the next thing we want to do is we want to relax. Alright, and you kind of have to do that intentionally if you have anxiety. So you want to unclench your jaw. I've yet to meet somebody who has anxiety that isn't kind of clenching their jaw muscles at least a little bit. Okay, so you want to relax. Pardon me. You want to relax your jaw. Relax the shoulders. Okay. And then Just move this out of the way. You want to stretch, okay? So you can stretch your back, stretch your arms, put them way out, put your arms up over your head, pull them, and if you don't have enough mobility, that's fine. Again, it's okay, right? There's no penalty if you can't do this stuff. Just do it as much as you can. Just try to stretch it out. I like to rotate my wrists around to just kind of really get my arms nice and loose. Roll my shoulders a little bit. And you kind of want to do that, all the way down to your feet, your ankles, your toes. Wiggle your toes a little bit. Rotate your ankles, or your feet at your ankles. Stretch your legs. Just trying to relax as many of your muscles as you can. So, how we feeling? Feeling any better? Okay. Well, these are all exercises you can do anytime you want. Okay. So you don't need me here. And of course, you can always listen to something relaxing too. Whatever helps. So, I don't want to tell you that your fears are, they're not valid or anything like that. But it's important to keep a balance. And it's important to stay grounded in reality and not let those fears dictate our actions or control our lives, I know it's not always easy, and, it's something you gotta work on. It's something that we have to, make progress on ourselves, because nobody else can really work on it for us. And I'm talking for myself too. I deal with both social and general anxiety disorder. Those are real diagnoses I have. But there are things you can do and that you can practice to kind of mitigate those effects so that they don't restrict your life as much, and so that they don't cause, undue stress on a daily basis. Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Until next time. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about before you go? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it was great seeing you. You have an excellent rest of your day. Try to make sure you're drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, eating enough, all that stuff. Basically just take care of yourself, okay? All right. Yep. Take care. God bless. Bye.